Hey everyone, welcome to the Plugged In Podcast.
Hello, welcome back.
We are deep into season 2. This is episode number 17 overall. Nate, you got left out there.
I know, I was expecting music in my headphones.
Oh yeah, there's none. This is one of those shows.
I was just sitting here like, hey.
This is one of those shows where the music gets added afterwards
Yeah.
instead of in real time.
Sorry, Matt.
Well, guys, happy February.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is already February 2024. I almost said 2014, but that's not true.
I thought you were saying February 24th, and I was like, what month are you in?
February 2024, home of Black History Month,
Yes.
Yep.
home of the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
Yes.
home of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
All beautiful.
Groundhog Day.
I wouldn't have even thought about that.
Oh,
Thank you, Nate.
But
Best holiday on the
maybe the
calendar.
one that's most front center of my mind is Mackenzie's first birthday.
Nice.
It's coming up in February.
A year. That's crazy.
I know, it's wild.
It goes fast.
So I have
Blowing my mind.
an opening story. I know we always talk in our show notes. We need to stop talking so much about our kids, but I have a kid story.
Give it to me.
Okay, so for Christmas, Caleb of all things asked for, he wanted flashlights.
I love him so much.
So
much.
And when we really pressed him, and we were just like, really? Like, do you want anything else? Caleb looked at us and he's like, yes. I want 2 flashlights. So for Christmas, Caleb got these 4 little LED little tiny mini flashlights or
oh
whatever.
my gosh.
So just to set up the story, so
Flashlights.
for a lot of nights when I put him to bed,
Yeah.
I'll climb into his bed and I'll lay on my back and we'll play flashlights.
Nice.
And so we'll be staring up at the ceiling and making shadows
Yeah.
and doing all those kind of games and stuff. So the other day, I walk into Caleb's room in the morning, and when his sound machine goes off and the green light turns on, immediately he's like, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm awake." Like that. I mean, that's just his that's what he does. So I come in there, and it's a little bit more subdued on this morning, and so I'm just like, "Hey, Caleb, good morning, buddy. What's going on?"
Yeah.
No response. Caleb, good morning. Can I have a hug? No response. He's
Still
just kind of
asleep?
he's moving really slow. No, he's awake. He's looking right at me. And so I thought this was really weird. So I'm like, well, okay, well, maybe I can do something. Maybe we can play and he'll,
Right.
he needs to get happy. What's going
Right.
on? So I go ahead and I'm like, I'm going to play flashlights with him in the morning. We're going to throw a curveball.
Nice.
So I
Switching it up.
slowly crawl into his bed. And while I crawl into his bed, he crawls out. And I'm like really confused. And I'm like, Caleb, do you want to play flashlights? And I lay fully on my back in his bed, get the flashlights. And I'm like, Caleb, do you want to play flashlights? And by now he's out of the bed. He's standing in the middle of his room, still hasn't talked yet, looks right at me and says, Daddy, I peed. And at that moment, I realized that I am
Laying in pee.
laying full on my back
Yeah.
in a bed full
Nice.
of pee.
Happy
Man.
morning.
The
Yeah.
human sponge,
Oh,
Matt
well-
Lund.
Human sponge. Yeah, so
Wow.
that's it's not quite my rant, but that's
oh my
that's awesome.
gosh.
kids are on the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's Jackson right now. He's in this kick. From birth to current, he's never had drinks in his bed, but all of a sudden he needs water every
Yep.
night at bed.
Yep.
But because of that, every night the pull-up is overflowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he'll barge into our room at 6:30, and he's like, Mommy, Daddy, I'm awake, but I'm wet. And I'm like, oh. Just
Yeah.
processing life. Oh, kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Parenting is an adventure for sure.
Oh, children.
Well, we said Valentine's Day is coming up. I literally made the cardinal sin of Valentine's Day, not to my spouse, but so Heather and I are making Valentine's Day plans.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I asked a single person to babysit for us on
You
I,
didn't.
no,
You are
I did.
heartless, bro.
I said to my
kidding.
wife as soon as I pressed send on the text message asking them, I was just like, oh no, I feel really awkward sending
Yeah,
this. That's
yeah.
terrible. They agreed. They're a wonderful person, but they did call me out in the text message thread. They were just like, oh sure, ask the single.
Ask the
Oh, man.
single person.
Yeah, I did
That's
feel
crazy.
bad though.
Hey, on one of our first ever episodes, you shared how you went to Fazoli's, right?
Yeah.
For
That
in
was
college.
either
That
our
might have been
first or
the first.
first or
The
second.
first episode.
Yeah,
But
so-
you've
Hope you've graduated
yeah.
from Fazoli's.
You've
well, the
learned.
Plugged In podcast has graduated from that
Yeah.
story.
I know.
We've come a long ways.
I know.
Well, moving on in our thoughts today, Nate, you have something for us. So the Super Bowl is coming up,
It is.
and this podcast does not condone gambling.
No.
Sports betting.
No, not at all.
But every year, a popular thing comes out called Super Bowl props.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun way to think about the game, and it's not always necessarily about the yards and the touchdowns.
Yeah.
But go for it, man.
Yeah, so what we were going to do together here is kind of make some predictions based on some interesting prop categories that I found while searching the World Wide Web.
Worldwide
As it pertains to the Super Bowl. And so I'm just going to jump right in. The fabulous Reba McEntire is singing...
The fabulous.
Fabuloso.
Is singing the Star Spangled Banner this year.
Okay.
I want to keep track of our predictions as we go.
All right.
And then we'll revisit this at a later
Do you
episode.
want me to keep track?
Sure.
Okay.
Now, the question is, do you think that Reba will sing longer than 1 minute and 30 seconds
Ooh.
or shorter than 1 minute and 30 seconds?
How long is it ordinarily? Like, I need this.
It's all over the place, but
Yeah.
my judge of this is usually if it's a classical musician who's been asked to sing, like if it's a Renee Fleming or like an opera singer or
Yeah.
something like that, they're usually playing to a recorded track or like an orchestra.
Oh, that's true.
Those are usually on the shorter times. If you get someone else that gets up there and is just like, oh,
That's all there is.
Yeah, artistic license. Yeah,
say,
Whoa.
can you
That was the beginning? Holy moly.
Matt, you should sing it.
Yes, I
you
should.
should go.
Yeah, those usually go like 3 minutes.
Okay.
1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm going to take the over.
I was going to go over
I
as
was
well.
going to go over.
All right.
Can we all go over? Is
Yeah.
this a rule?
Yep. No, there's no rule. The rule is let's see how many
Over.
we get at the
Are you
end.
going to make a graphic for this?
Yeah, I'll make a graphic.
You just got put to work there.
Yes.
Sorry. I did not mean to do that.
I have to say yes. I'm just kidding.
All right, next question. How many times during the game
Okay.
During the game.
will CBS show Taylor Swift in her suite?
Okay, so this is a direct correlation to how many good plays Travis Kelce makes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's usually like, so if he has 10 catches, they'll cut to her 5 times.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of think about it. So I'm going with, my prediction for the game is that Travis Kelce has 7 catches, 1 touchdown. So I'm going to say,
You guys are so specific.
no, well, yeah, it's
Advanced analytics.
not
right
like
here.
I've thought about this at all. But
Oh my goodness.
wait, is there an
Okay.
over-under number?
So yeah,
Okay,
the,
sorry.
The over is more than
got-
5.
I got really ahead
It's
of myself.
more
More
than
than
5
5.
or less than 5.
Wow,
T
that's
Swift
right
cuts.
around my
That was right in your wheelhouse.
If
right
I was
there.
7 catches with a touchdown, half of that is 4. I'm gonna go under 5.
Okay, so this doesn't count after the game. This is only during the game.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like I just want to be. I want to be the other person. I'm gonna say over.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna
hedge
say
my-
over as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt said under. I'm saying over. Okay.
I'm the classic loser on this podcast.
Wow.
that's-
Wow.
No, but I mean that happens. We play a lot of games. I lose.
You won the first thing, didn't you?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
We all have a
what
role
did
to
I say? Over.
We all have a role to
Oh
play.
my goodness, this is good.
I'm the host
Over
and the
5
loser.
times.
Okay, what's the next one?
All right. Will the cameras capture Taylor and Kelsey kissing after the game? Yes or no?
Taylor and
Ooh.
Travis.
Travis Kelsey. Let's.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They will go out of their way to make sure they are kissing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We all say yes.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Okay.
hold on. Kiss. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What company will air the first commercial following kickoff?
Oh man, this is usually like it's a
Budweiser.
no. I was gonna say it's usually one off the beaten path. Like it's not like a super well known. I don't even know if I could make a. Like I feel like the last couple Super Bowls, it was like crypto crazy. Like
It was.
That's
it was.
true.
and it was companies you never heard of before, but they're all
Yeah.
trying to make their mark. I don't really have a guess. Like
I don't know.
I'll say E-Trade. I'm just gonna.
E-Trade?
That's not off the beaten path, but like they
The baby?
yeah, they seem to have so
E-Trade.
many Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say.
Or what's the Jesus commercial movement? He's one of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
One.
This is so it's not great marketing because none of us can remember
Because
it.
I feel like I only see it at the Super Bowl.
Oh, he gets us. He gets
gets
us.
us.
He
That's
gets
a
us.
good
Yeah.
one.
They
don't know.
might have some commercials.
I'm thinking HelloFresh. I don't know why, but that's
Thinking
what I'm
HelloFresh?
going with.
All right, next
I'll say Pfizer.
Pfizer. Okay.
All right. Let's see. How many? Oh, sorry. Here we go. Will the game go into overtime? Simple yes or no.
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 I'll say no as well. All right. Almost there. Almost there.
This
For
is
the,
good.
for the Gatorade bath following the game.
Oh my gosh.
What
this is-
color will the Gatorade be?
Good question.
Or you could also choose no Gatorade. It'd be water or whatever.
I'm going orange.
I'm going purple. Because the logo is purple, right? I'm going purple.
That's a good strategy.
Orange.
Strategy.
I'm gonna go yellow, like yellow/lime green.
Neat. Yellow.
Okay, what color is that, buddy?
So you can't take two.
Tennis
you need yellow
ball.
or green.
Tennis ball color.
So you
Okay,
need, we're going
tennis
yellow.
ball.
Lime green is, I think, the flavor.
I don't know.
'Kay.
All right. Who will be the MVP of the game?
I don't want this to happen, but it's going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it is.
You have no faith in the Niners?
It's so it's either going to be Patrick Mahomes or Christian McCaffrey. Those are my two picks. I'm pulling for the 49ers. I would like them to win. But if you have to have me on the record, I'm saying Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes?
Mahomes.
That's your choice too?
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes.
Yeah, I'll go Patrick Mahomes as well.
Wow.
We sync up on a lot of these things.
Here's the delineation. Final score prediction.
Good word.
I don't even.
Good word, buddy.
Yeah.
I've never used
I've
that.
been studying.
Final score
Yeah.
with a winner. Okay, I'm gonna go Chiefs 28, 49ers 24.
That's really close to what I had in my mind.
I'm gonna go Chiefs 31, 49ers 28.
Ooh, that's
Wait,
good.
what was Matt, say yours again?
28-24 Chiefs.
Okay.
And I think it's like it'll come down to the end where they have to score a touchdown, so they're like driving at the end of the game. Somehow the drive stalls out at like the 15-yard line. But I think it will be a good ending, a good game.
Cool.
We'll see.
I was
see.
thinking Chiefs 27, 49ers 24.
So only needing a
27,
field goal.
24. You guys are close. And you said Chiefs?
I did say Chiefs.
So
yes.
so let me hear your prediction on how is that ending. So the Chiefs make a defensive stand to hold the 49ers and win the game, or Patrick Mahomes drives down, scores a go-ahead field goal or touchdown. So it means they were either down by 4 or they were tied.
Yeah.
I'm really ripping your score apart here.
No,
really.
no. I'm thinking defensive stand. I think it's going to come down to Brock Purdy has the ball in his hands and doesn't convert a crucial fourth down or something
It's
like that.
tragic.
Yeah.
It's tragic. I think it's like it's borderline mean. So in the NFL, if you're the last person drafted in the NFL draft,
Yeah.
everyone calls you Mr. Irrelevant.
Oh, story of my life.
And that's Brock Purdy. No, this is the quarterback of the 49ers in the
That's so
Super Bowl.
mean.
His nickname is Mr. Irrelevant because he was the last person drafted in the draft.
Hey.
Like overall?
Yeah, like so in the 7th round, the very last player drafted. Now there are some players in the NFL that are on rosters that are undrafted.
Right.
But this is of the actual draft. He
Of
was
the draft.
the
Yeah.
last pick.
Yeah.
Now, Tom Brady was famously a 6th round pick. Julian Edelman
Right.
was a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever heard of anyone this prominent, like the
No.
last pick in the NFL.
Well, the starting quarterback of a potential championship team.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. All right.
Good story.
All right,
got.
so we got our Super Bowl props locked in, and Larita is now going to make a fabulous graphic that will be out on social media. You'll have to chime in with what you think is going to happen in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
We're going a little bit different direction with the Plugged In podcast today. Rather than do one devotional thought, I think we're each going to take a turn talking about a verse, a passage, something that has been speaking to us recently.
Yeah.
And we'll all kind of chime in and keep our comments brief, and we'll get you on your way today here at the Plugged In podcast. We're going for the short form podcast today. But who wants to go first?
I can go first.
All right.
I think the last episode, the devotional I did was based off of 2 Corinthians 12, and that's just been like repeatedly showing up in my devotions and just in my mind. And so that verse again is really just sticking out to me recently. And it says from 2 Corinthians 3 times, Paul saying 3 times, I beg the Lord to take it away. And each time he said, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. So now I am glad to boast about my weakness so the power of Christ can work through me. And again, he's talking about that thorn in his flesh and the trials that, he was shipwrecked and beaten and all of the things and imprisoned and he had so many thorns and overcame so much and literally became a new person, but still had this nagging thorn in his side that the Lord would not remove. But it didn't stop him from being faithful, and didn't stop him from, being like testifying. It didn't stop him from being who God had called him to be.
So why does that speak to you?
I just think recently I've been going through just difficulties with health and questions and feeling like I continually just have to fight to advocate for myself. I just got a call yesterday that my doctor that I'm supposed to be seeing is now herself out on medical leave.
Oh, no.
So I can't get things renewed and things moving that I need because she's, now in a position of weakness. So it's kind of resorted things. But I remember getting that call and I was like, why? Can one thing go right? It's just that disappointment and feeling like, just feeling that disappointment over and over again. And then being upset at the position I've put myself, it's just that spiral. It's the thorn. Yeah. And just reminding myself to continue to be faithful, to continue to allow my weakness to be, strength in the Lord's hand. Yeah. And just knowing that he's going to give me the strength to endure, the current situation. So that just literally just keeps, it was in my devotions this morning, if anyone does the first 5.
Yeah.
But then there's this quote that said, when we feel completely helpless, God's grace will give us the strength to make it through every trial we face. So just a continual
reminder.
Yeah. And it just keeps showing up in my face. And so clearly I need it, but just the reminder for me.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
I can go next.
Yeah,
go for it.
Okay. So I said this to you guys off the air last night. When I'm a creative person, I'm a brainstormer, I'm super analytical. I like to try to envision things that don't exist and then figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
But along the way, like I have to ask so many questions about what could go right, what could go wrong.
Right.
Is it worth doing this? Is it worth doing that?
Right.
So I feel like I constantly fill my brain with all of this like strategy. And sometimes that can be overwhelming in just a negative way.
Yeah.
It's just like before I even start,
Right.
I've thought of the 45 things that could go wrong
Right.
and why I shouldn't even start.
Yeah. Right.
And so one of the things, this is so ironic, because I literally was saying to you guys, so we've been talking about the Plugged In podcast, and we've been talking about listenership and how we should deliver the podcast to people. And so I jokingly went on TikTok and I typed in the word devotional.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about off the air is I would type in the word devotional, and you'd have these people recording video in their cars of like the Bible apps, like devotional of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah. And like, but other people's material.
Yeah.
And they'd have like 700,000 views. And so I was just like, here we are, like, we put effort into this, and you guys have written these like beautiful devotionals, and it's so like confusing to me, like, wow. So anyways, I did it again. I went on there just to kind of be, just kind of be like snarky. And I listened to one of the devotionals, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just got like mega convicted.
Right.
So here's the devotional. I'm going to share it with you because
man.
it like smacked me in the face. But the reference verses here are 1 Thessalonians 5:17 and Psalm 62, 2-5. Tell me if this sounds like anybody. Rest in me, my child. Give your mind a break from planning and trying to anticipate what will happen.
Yikes.
Pray continually, asking my spirit to take charge of the details of this day. Remember that you are on a journey with me. When you try to peer into the future and plan for every possibility, you ignore your constant companion who sustains you moment by moment. As you gaze anxiously into the distance, you don't ever feel the strong grip of my hand holding yours. How foolish you are, my child.
Oof.
Remembrance of me is a daily discipline. Never lose sight of my presence with you. This will keep you resting in me all day, every day.
Wow.
I was like, no way. Here's like the
That's crazy.
Here's like the very devotionals that I make fun of because they basically go viral with like very little effort.
Right.
And here I was like listening to their content and
Ready
being
to
like
compare.
and being like, wow, it really applies to my life. I needed to hear this today.
And that translation was just so whatever that translation was,
No,
spot
that was good.
on.
No, planning into the future for every possibility.
Yeah.
Like, So that's my thought for today, because I'm sure there's other people out there that have similar mindset where if you're trying to accomplish something, if you're trying to plan something, you're just the type of person that can't leave any stone unturned.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think sometimes that can be a poisonous mindset because you're forgetting to trust
Right.
the person that put you on that journey in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought for the day, my conviction for the
Wow,
day.
that's
And
like
it was pretty.
pointed.
I literally went on like TikTok to make fun of it more, and then I was just like, "Oh man, this is me to a T." Here we go.
God was reading your text thread.
No, it's true.
He
So
was.
It's awesome. I've been thinking a lot about, obviously, with the start of the new year, there comes a lot of expectations. And I think expectations for myself that I set, and maybe just expectations about how the world around me should be and how life in general should be. And a lot of times those expectations that I prop up for myself don't always come to fruition. And I think in the moments where that happens, we can become bitter, we can become angry, we can become resentful, or we can maybe lean in a bit closer to what God's trying to teach us in the midst of that. And so one passage that's been on my heart recently comes from Habakkuk chapter 3, verses 17 through 19. And it says this: "Even if the fig tree does not blossom, and there are no grapes on the vines, if the olive trees fail to give fruit, and the fields produce no food, if the flocks die far from the fold and there are no cattle in the stalls, then I will still rejoice in the eternal. I will rejoice in the God who saves me. The eternal Lord is my strength. He has made my feet like the feet of a deer, and he allows me to walk on high places." And I was thinking about that passage in just like a contemporary context. And if we were to change some of those words around, if I was to take the even if ... and change that out, maybe it sounds something like, even if I wasn't able to afford this month's rent, and life continues to get more expensive, if my relationships fall apart and the world is hurled into division and conflict, if my family gets sick and I feel all alone, would I still have the strength to say, God, you are my joy, you are the one who saves me? And I love how that passage ends, that he allows me to walk on high places, because I think it's in those moments where discouraging things happen and negative things happen, I know in my own life I can spiral and I can walk in some very low places in my own mind and maybe with the people around me. But the fact that the Lord continues to lift us up out of that and wants us to see his face in the midst of the situations in our world, it's been a challenge. It's a challenge to me. It's a conviction to me. And I looked up this passage in the Message, and this response that God wants from our hearts was really just a cool visual. It says, "I'm turning cartwheels of joy to my Savior God, counting on his rule to prevail." And can I honestly say that even if things don't go my way, I'm turning cartwheels of joy? Not all the time. No, actually, very, very few times would I say, yeah, I'm turning cartwheels of joy.
I don't know if I could ever be turning cartwheels of joy. Like,
I physically couldn't,
no
let
matter
alone
the
spiritually.
circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah, but just this I don't know, this assurance and this peace of heart, knowing that even if things don't turn out the way that you envision them to turn out, that doesn't mean that God is not in the midst of it. And at the end of the day, his nature is secure and unchanging and immovable, and he continues to rejoice over us and just desires for us to place our trust and our hope in him. And so just an encouragement that's been on my heart and mind that I feel that many people can resonate with today.
Let's go around the table.
Oh boy.
I know, I didn't.
On the spot.
This is not in the show notes. Let's wrap up the podcast today. Give me, once again, your biblical thought in one sentence. I'll start while you guys are thinking.
Yeah, you go first.
But in the midst of your planning and busyness and stress, don't forget to rely on God, because he brought you here in the first place, and he's already prepared the way for you. Rest in, that's two sentences. I was like adding
Word count.
commas. Okay.
Mine would be something to the effect of when you feel like you've been hitting the same wall over and over again, when you feel like you've been persistent in praying, be assured that the Lord is for you and he's working in the midst of that which you feel like is insurmountable.
Yeah.
Period.
I would just, period.
Grammar.
Even if life sucks,
Yeah.
even if
It's
life
true. It's so true.
is not going the way you planned, look to the one who is always faithful and true.
Yeah.
Place your joy and trust in him, and you'll never be disheartened.
I love it.
Cartwheels.
Cartwheels.
Cartwheel.
there's anyone at the
Cartwheels of
stable-
joy. Let's go.
If there's anyone at the stable who can cartwheel, it's...
I do the cartwheels
Me.
off air. We have to turn the cameras off.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
I'll cartwheel
yeah.
around the studio. You know?
There have
Yeah.
been times where, like, you two have... One has started dancing, the other has danced, but then every time I get my camera out,
Oh, it ends fast.
you stop. So
It-
I'll
yeah,
get it
it's
one
real
day.
fast.
I'll get it one day.
Nate's a real dancer. I'm a fake
not
real
dancer. I'm just a sporadic body movement type of guy.
Sporadic body
Yeah,
movement
it's
kinda guy.
uncontrolled movements.
I really like
Okay.
that sporadic body movement type of guy. That's
There
really
it is. Fair.
so. All right, everyone. Well, that is episode number 17 of the Plugged In podcast. We'll come back to you with our next episode after the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
we'll be able to recap the winners, what happened during the game, and everything to do with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Can't wait.
Lorita's hoping that Kelsey proposes
No,
on
I'm-
field after the game.
I am 100% not
Oh
hoping
my
that.
goodness.
I never
He just
said
outed
that.
you.
I
He
never
just
said that.
outed you.
I just
She's for this right now.
I love and I love them, but I think it's too soon. Hello. Oh my word. Relax over there.
I love love.
I love love.
Okay.
Karma is the
They
guy
were-
on the Chiefs. Come on, let's go.
Man,
Yep.
that was great. He outed you. I love that. That's awesome. All right,
We'll
everyone.
talk later, Nate. We'll talk later.
Thank you for joining us at the Plugged In podcast. We will see you next time.